All right, let's dive into the future of healthcare, specifically in Asia.
Sounds good.
We're going deep on this report from Boston Consulting Group.
Okay.
The Unmissable Asia Healthcare Opportunity, fresh from January 2025.
Very cool.
Everyone's been buzzing about the growth in this sector. We want to figure out why, and more importantly, what opportunities it holds.
Right. Lots of potential.
So get ready for some, honestly, mind-blowing facts.
Okay, me.
Asia, get this, has 60% of the global population,
Wow, 60%.
but only 22% of healthcare spending.
Yeah, there's a disparity there.
And by 2030, that spending is projected to hit, wait for it, almost $5 trillion. Trillion with a T.
Yeah, it's a staggering figure. It really shows you the potential we're talking about.
So we've got a massive population, rising incomes, and an economic landscape that's basically shifting right in front of us.
Yeah, totally. It's not just a shift. It's a whole new playing field.
What does that mean for someone trying to, understand this opportunity?
So the report, it predicts a five-fold increase in high-income households in Asia by 2030,
5 times compared
compared to just 1.5 times increase projected for the West.
Huh.
And even, trade routes are changing. The report highlights how India-USA trade is expected to jump by over $100 billion.
Wow.
While trade between the U.S. and China is, get this, decreasing. This isn't just about numbers. It really points to where the money is going. And investors are noticing. Foreign direct investment in Asian healthcare has doubled since 2008.
So they're following the growth.
Absolutely. Putting their money where the growth is.
Okay, so Asia's economic engine is revving up, and healthcare is coming along for the ride. But you mentioned a contrast before. Huge population, increasing wealth,
Right.
and yet healthcare spending is lagging behind. What's the gap there?
Well, it's kind of a paradox, isn't it? 60% of the world's population, 60% of the global diabetes burden,
Yeah.
but only 22% of healthcare spending. So that means there are major gaps in healthcare infrastructure that we need to address.
Right.
And then on top of that, you've got an aging population that's, putting a strain on existing systems.
Mm-hmm.
It creates a scenario that's, ripe for disruption.
Disruption. That's a word we hear all the time these days, especially with technology. Is that where Patient 2.0 comes in?
Oh, you're spot on.
So the report mentioned that. Definitely caught my eye.
Patient 2.0 is basically the rise of a new healthcare consumer. Think of it this way. You wouldn't buy a car without researching it online first,
No, definitely not.
comparing prices, reading reviews. That same mindset is coming to healthcare.
Interesting.
These consumers, they're demanding personalized, tech-driven solutions, things like telehealth, online appointment booking, even comparison shopping for healthcare providers.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening. It seems like healthcare is finally catching up to how we already interact with, so many other industries.
Exactly.
Speaking of tech, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Generative AI, Gen AI. The report claims it has the potential to disrupt all healthcare subsectors. I'm both excited and a little wary of that idea. Is it hype or the real deal?
Well, it's a bold statement, but I think the report makes a good case.
Okay.
We're already seeing Gen AI used for things like automating clinical documentation, which frees up doctors' time,
Right.
and even speeding up drug discovery. But we're really just scratching the surface here. Imagine a world where AI-powered diagnostics can give you insights in minutes by analyzing millions of cases. Think of virtual health assistants that answer your questions 24/7. Or how AI could massively improve operational efficiency, leading to shorter wait times and fewer errors.
That's a pretty compelling picture, but I can already hear some people saying, yeah, but what about the cost? Is there really a return on investment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the report does address that skepticism.
Good.
Because healthcare systems are complex. Change doesn't happen overnight. Integrating new technologies, well, it comes with its own set of challenges. But what's fascinating is the report highlights some Gen AI success stories that are impossible to ignore.
Okay, give me the details. What kind of successes?
Well, for instance, in Silicon Medicine,
Really?
a company using Gen AI for drug discovery developed a fibrosis drug candidate in just 46 days. That process usually takes 6 years and about $400 million.
Wow, that's incredible. From years to days.
Exactly.
Any other examples?
Another impressive one is Queer.ai, which uses AI to analyze chest x-rays and detect signs of lung cancer up to 3 years before symptoms appear.
That's incredible. Imagine the impact of that kind of early intervention. So we're seeing how technology is changing the game, but the report also talks about entirely new healthcare models emerging because of this shift. What are some of those new models, and how are they shaping the future of healthcare in Asia? I'm really curious about these new healthcare models.
Yeah,
The report mentioned 4 key models: distributed care, specialized care, value-based care, and flexible insurance.
right.
Can you break those down for me and maybe give some real-world examples?
Absolutely. So these models, they're gaining traction because they address the specific needs and challenges of the Asian healthcare market. Let's start with distributed care. Imagine, having access to a doctor right from your phone no matter where you are.
Wow.
That's what companies like HaloDoc in Indonesia are doing. They're a telemedicine platform, millions of users, offering everything from virtual consultations and digital prescriptions to medicine delivery, basically putting healthcare right at your fingertips.
That's pretty amazing, especially for people in rural areas or folks who might have difficulty accessing traditional healthcare. What about specialized care? I'm interested in how companies are focusing on specific areas.
Yeah. Specialization allows providers to become experts in their chosen field, streamline their operations, which often leads to more affordable care.
Okay.
Aravind Eye Care in India is a fantastic example. They've developed a highly efficient model for eye surgeries, making quality eye care accessible to people who might not have been able to afford it otherwise. So tackling a specific problem and doing it really well, and that model has the potential to be replicated in other areas of healthcare.
That's a powerful example of how focused expertise can make a real difference. Okay, let's move on to value-based care. I'll admit I'm a little fuzzy on what that actually means in practice.
Sure. So it's a really important shift in thinking. Traditionally, healthcare has operated on a fee-for-service model,
Hmm.
where more treatments, well, basically equals more revenue.
Right.
Value-based care flips that. It prioritizes outcomes over the number of procedures.
Interesting.
Raffles Health Group in Singapore is a prime example. They use technology and teamwork to ensure they're delivering the most effective care possible. They constantly evaluate, what works best and how to improve patient outcomes.
So it's less about quantity and more about quality, which ultimately benefits both patients and the healthcare system. That makes a lot of sense. What about the last model, flexible insurance products? How are they shaking things up?
So traditional insurance models can be pretty rigid and often don't address individual needs effectively.
Yeah.
Companies like Ika Care in India are tackling this head-on.
Okay.
They're combining digital platforms with insurance products, specifically designed for things like chronic disease management or preventative care.
I see.
It's about tailoring insurance to the individual, making it more responsive and relevant to their, specific health needs.
I like that. Personalized insurance, it seems much more proactive, focused on keeping people healthy rather than just reacting when they get sick. It's really exciting to see these innovative models emerging. The report also mentioned the rise of mid-market players catering to the growing middle class. Sounds like access to quality healthcare is expanding beyond just the elite.
Absolutely. It's a significant trend. The report cites Xuyen, a general hospital in Vietnam, as a prime example. They've expanded into smaller cities, offering specialized care like oncology at prices that are more accessible to the middle class.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, it signifies a broader shift towards inclusivity in healthcare, which is really positive.
I'm glad to hear that. So we've covered these exciting new models, but there's another piece of the puzzle I want to explore, the pharma and biotech sector. What are the key takeaways from the report regarding pharma and biotech in Asia?
Oh, this is another area ripe with opportunity.
Okay.
Firstly, there's the rapid growth of the pharma services market, fueled by what the report calls the China Plus One strategy.
China plus one. That sounds interesting. Can you elaborate on what that means?
Sure. Essentially, it reflects a growing trend among pharmaceutical companies to diversify their manufacturing and supply chains beyond China.
Makes sense.
A BCG survey actually found that 70% of biotech companies are hesitant to rely solely on Chinese manufacturers for a variety of reasons.
So if they're looking beyond China, where are they turning?
Well, India is emerging as a strong contender. They already have a robust presence in generic drug manufacturing and are known for their cost-effectiveness. The report predicts that the Indian CDMO market, that's contract development and manufacturing organizations, will double in size by 2028. This shift presents a huge opportunity for India to become a major player in the global pharmaceutical landscape.
Right. Makes sense, given India's existing infrastructure and expertise in this area. But it's not just about manufacturing existing drugs more cheaply, right? The report also talked about exciting new drug modalities.
Exactly. The future of pharma isn't just about doing what we've always done more efficiently. It's about groundbreaking new treatments.
Okay, yeah.
The report highlights the tremendous potential of new modalities like cell and gene therapies, antibody drug conjugates, and nucleic acid therapeutics.
Wow, those are some big words.
I know, right?
Ugh.
These cutting-edge treatments represent a whole new frontier in medicine and are growing much faster than traditional drug development.
Sounds like we're on the cusp of some major breakthroughs. Are there any Asian companies leading the charge in this space?
Oh, absolutely. There are some incredibly innovative companies doing amazing work in Asia. One example that stands out is ImmunoACT in India. They're developing a CAR T-cell therapy, a revolutionary cancer treatment that essentially trains your own immune system to fight cancer cells. What's remarkable is they're doing this at a fraction of the cost compared to Western providers, making this potentially life-saving treatment accessible to a much wider population.
That's fantastic. So innovation in Asia is not just about pushing scientific boundaries, but also about making these advancements affordable and accessible. Any other companies making waves?
For sure. Another company worth mentioning is Hummingbird Bioscience in Singapore. They're using cutting-edge computational biology to identify and target cancers that were previously considered undruggable.
Undruggable.
Yeah. They're not just developing new drugs, they're changing the entire approach to cancer treatment.
It's inspiring to see this level of innovation happening. It's clear that the pharma and biotech sector in Asia is like brimming with potential. But it's not just about big pharma, right? The report also highlighted the health tech explosion happening across Asia. What are some of the key trends and players in that space?
Right. The health tech scene in Asia, particularly in India and Southeast Asia, is absolutely exploding.
Exploding.
We're seeing a whole ecosystem of players emerge, from online pharmacies like PharmEasy, which makes it super convenient to order medications, to specialized care apps like Healify, which focuses on women's health and pregnancy.
Okay.
There are also platforms like Newman, focused on chronic disease management, and fitness platforms like Sugar Fit, promoting healthier lifestyles.
It sounds like there's a platform for almost every healthcare need imaginable. What's driving this incredible growth in digital health?
Well, one key factor is the rapid increase in smartphone and internet penetration across Asia.
Yeah.
This has made it easier than ever for people to access healthcare services online. Platforms like MediBuddy in India are experiencing a surge in monthly active users, indicating a massive shift in how people are approaching their healthcare.
So it seems like the convenience and accessibility of these platforms are resonating with consumers. Is this a trend specific to India, or are we seeing similar growth in other parts of Asia?
The report indicates that this is a region-wide phenomenon. While India might be leading the charge, countries like Indonesia and Vietnam are also witnessing significant growth in digital health adoption. It's a clear sign that digital healthcare is transforming the landscape across Asia.
This all sounds incredible, but I have to ask, where's all the money coming from to fund these innovations? The report delves into the investment landscape, right?
It does, and it offers some fascinating insights. Since 2010, we've seen over $29.5 billion invested in over 5,100 healthcare companies across Asia.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It's a staggering amount of capital flowing into this sector.
That's a clear indication that investors see huge potential in Asian healthcare. What are the hot areas attracting the most investment?
Digital health is definitely the star performer, with a 107% compound annual growth rate. But it's not just a digital takeover. Traditional healthcare services have also seen a steady 11% growth, showing that investment is flowing into both established and emerging areas.
So it's a balanced approach. Makes sense, given the need to address both existing infrastructure gaps and exciting new opportunities. But the report also looks at the smaller investments, right? The ones under $5 million. What can you tell me about those?
What's really fascinating is that these smaller investments often reveal the cutting edge of innovation, the areas where entrepreneurs are exploring new solutions and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me some examples of these innovative startups and what they're doing.
One example that caught my eye is CureLink, a health tech platform in India that's connecting doctors and patients through, get this, WhatsApp.
Wait, WhatsApp, like the messaging app?
Exactly. It's kind of genius, really. They're leveraging a platform that millions of people are already using and comfortable with to deliver personalized chronic care management. It removes barriers to access and makes it easier for people to stay connected with their healthcare providers.
I love that. Meeting people where they already are. What other cool startups are out there?
Another one that's really interesting is Genetri, a company that's developed a solution for monitoring pregnant women and newborns.
Okay.
They track vital health metrics, ensuring timely intervention if any issues arise. It's a fantastic example of how technology can empower expectant parents and potentially save lives.
It's incredible how technology is being used to improve every stage of the healthcare journey. What other examples did the report highlight?
There's Invitrace, a Thai company using AI to develop digital biomarkers. Essentially, they're using technology to detect subtle changes in the body that could signal early signs of disease. It's incredibly innovative and has the potential to revolutionize diagnostics.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive. It seems like Asia is becoming a hotbed of innovation in healthcare, and the potential is immense. But I imagine navigating this complex and diverse landscape comes with its own set of challenges, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. The report emphasizes that understanding the nuances of each region is crucial.
Yeah.
While the overall trends are exciting, Asia is not a monolithic entity. Each country has its own unique set of healthcare needs, regulatory frameworks, and cultural considerations.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, even within Asia itself. That makes sense. It's important to recognize the diversity of the Asian market. But stepping back for a moment, what does all this mean for our listener? Why should they care about what's happening in Asian healthcare?
Here's the key takeaway. The innovations happening in Asia are not just a regional phenomenon, they have global implications.
Hmm.
The trends we're seeing here are likely to shape the future of healthcare worldwide. Whether you're an investor looking for the next big opportunity, an entrepreneur with a groundbreaking idea, a healthcare professional wanting to stay ahead of the curve, or simply someone who cares about the future of health and well-being, understanding what's happening in Asia is crucial.
Like a glimpse into the future of healthcare for all of us. It's exciting and a bit daunting at the same time.
Absolutely. The potential is immense, but so are the challenges. And that's what makes this such a fascinating area to explore.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from the macro trends shaping the Asian healthcare landscape to the specific companies driving innovation. But now I'm wondering, with so much happening, what areas should our listener focus on? What are the key questions they should be asking themselves?
Yeah, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface here.
We have.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to, like, really dive deeper into this world? Where do they even start? It's a great question. And I think it depends on their individual interests and goals.
Yeah.
The beauty of Asian healthcare is its diversity, right?
Right.
There are opportunities for investors, entrepreneurs, researchers, and anyone really passionate about improving health outcomes. If you're interested in the tech side, following the digital health landscape, particularly in India and Southeast Asia, is a good place to start. Pay attention to how companies like Pharmeasy and Halodoc are scaling up, expanding their reach.
That's a great tip. I'm also thinking about someone who's particularly interested in, those cutting-edge treatments, like CAR-T cell therapy.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
For those fascinated by the science, I'd say keep an eye on companies like AminoACT and Hummingbird Bioscience. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
Also, delve into the research coming out of Asia's top universities and research institutions. There's some incredible work being done there.
It's amazing to think about the potential impact these treatments could have, on a global scale. But with so much happening, it's easy to get overwhelmed. How can our listeners stay informed, avoid information overload?
It's a valid concern. I recommend focusing on specific areas that truly resonate with you. Pick a few companies or research areas that pique your interest and follow their progress closely. Subscribe to industry newsletters, attend webinars, connect with experts on social media. It's about being selective and curating your information intake.
That's a great approach, quality over quantity. This deep dive has been an incredible journey, and it feels like we're only at the beginning of this exciting story.
Yeah, it's early days.
As we wrap up, is there a final thought you'd like to leave our listener with? Something that might spark further exploration or reflection?
One thing that really stands out to me is this. The innovations we're seeing in Asian healthcare, they're driven by a deep understanding of local needs and challenges. It's not just about applying Western models. It's about creating solutions that are tailored to the specific context of Asian societies.
Right.
I think that's a powerful lesson for anyone interested in healthcare innovation, regardless of their location, really. It's about finding solutions that truly meet the needs of the people they're designed to serve.
That's such a powerful insight, and it speaks to the importance of cultural sensitivity and contextual understanding in healthcare innovation.
Yeah.
It's not just about the technology, it's about using that technology to solve real-world problems in a way that's both effective and culturally relevant. This deep dive has been truly eye-opening. I feel like we've gained a whole new perspective on the future of healthcare, not just in Asia, but globally.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating exploration, and I hope it's inspired our listener to continue their own journey of discovery within this, dynamic and evolving landscape.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.